Since a kid, I knew it was absolutely over for my ugly ass. I knew that no matter what I say or what I do, these women are always gonna view me as a square-ass buster. Just look at my punk ass. 22-year-old bum-ass bitch who still lives with his parents, a nigga who got nothing going on for himself. Why would any bitch want anything to do with my ridiculous ass? When you're an ugly nigga like myself, I just want to say confidence is not saving your ass. Don't let these motherfuckers try to tell you that all you gotta do is be confident. Don't be fucking delusional. When you're a genetic experiment gone wrong like myself, it's no amount of confidence in the world that's gonna make these women want you. And women will sit here and say, oh, it's about confidence, it's that. If that was the case, why do women date niggas who are attractive who aren't confident? You know how much niggas in this world that are attractive, that are not confident, but they still get hella women, they still get hella play? It's because it's about their look. It all comes down to looks. It's the same way they try to say, oh, it's about personality. But we all know that's bullshit, because look at how much attractive niggas there is out there who have terrible fucking personalities. They're literally pieces of shit, but they can still get all the women in the world. Attractive niggas don't need confidence because their looks alone is what gets them through the door. So if you're a hideous ass nigga like myself, just know no amount of confidence is saving your ass. Don't be fucking delusional and don't embarrass yourself. It is not about no fucking confidence or having a good personality. It all comes down to looks.
That guy in the video is your competition, whether you like it or not. Now, I feel for him and guys like him because he is me and I am him. You know, maybe not in all aspects, but definitely when it comes to like insecurity and having that come out. You know, I just made a video on negative body image, you know, and how I be feeling about myself when it comes to dating and all this other stuff, right? But in this video, he mentioned how the girls say that they don't care about personality or they care about confidence, and yet they still can't find somebody, or they pick a person who is tall and when he has zero confidence, when he leaves out the girls who pick out the losers and pay for it, right? He mentions how there's a lot of guys who have trashy personalities, and yet somehow, some way, they get all the girls anyway. And all that stuff is important is because those have slivers of truth in it. Is it true that girls like taller guys? Yes. Is it true that those girls like confident guys? Also, yes. Right? Now, those slivers of truth are important because those may be things that you may need to acknowledge. You may be acknowledge about yourself. You probably need to max out some other stats. However, now what is not true is that looks are the only thing that matters, right? Even if you guys look at the entire YouTube space right now, right? There are guys who believe in body game, where body's the only thing that matters. There are guys who believe mouthpiece is the only thing that matters. There's guys who think that money is the only thing that matters. There's the guys who think that clout is the only thing that matters. And there's even another camp that thinks you need to be a full package. And I think I'm a part of that camp. And this brother resonates with me specifically because he reminds me of a darker aspect of myself. You know, he is essentially has all these dreams that he's not willing to chase. He has all these dreams that he's not able to achieve because he's not willing to chase them. And if that sounds like you, or something you have said to yourself at some point, congratulations, you have now met the person or the thing that's stopping you from getting to the place that you want to go. You. Dang near everyone has insecurities in some form or fashion, right? The tall man, the businessman, the man with all the clout, the famous man, the married man, all of them have insecurities to a degree, right? But what makes them different is that regardless of their insecurities, they still put in a significant amount of effort to either compensate for them or to try to move past their insecurities, right? And if you actually talk to these men, they might still feel that way. You know, the poor man might always feel poor no matter how much money he has. You know, the guy with all the women might feel like he never has enough women because it's what he's always wanted his entire life, right? At the end of the day, they all made the decision to go pursue the thing that they wanted, whether they were insecure about it or not. And that's the point of this video. This guy in this video reminded me a lot about myself. Okay, I got 40 seconds. A lot. Reminded me a lot about myself because I'm insecure about a lot of things too, and it comes out in the way I talk sometimes. You know, I might be very insecure about my financial status right now. I'm trying to make something work. I might be insecure about the way I look when it comes to my body. I might be insecure with the amount of knowledge I have. But what makes me differ in his response, what ultimately makes us different is our response to it, right? I'm in the gym right now. I'm trying to build up my social media page right now. I'm trying to study for jobs involving IT because at the end of the day, I want to be better than I am right now, all right? I want this situation to be temporary not forever. Let me hit this set real quick. And like kind of going back to what I was talking about before about what I value is freedom. I want to be free from that type of mindset. I want to be free from those negative thoughts of I may not be good enough, I may not be adequate enough, and instead of like thinking about how I may not be desirable because of my height or because I live with my parents or because of my financial status or anything like that, I still want to be free of that, whether it be through my own effort or with the aid of Jesus Christ. None of the things that I'm talking about growing and trying to get better is about me building confidence, right? Because that's eventually going to come. What it gives me is hope. What it gives me is hope for a better future, a better life that I don't see right now. Challenge to you as well, my viewers or whoever's watching this, is if you struggle with low self-esteem or anything like that, one of the things you got to change is stop identifying with your situation and start identifying with your direction. You know, it is something that I've been working on recently, and I hope I did it in this video. That like one thing I started changing was the way I talk about. One of the things I started changing was the way I talk about my situation, right? How many is that? Something, I don't know. I feel like it was more than 10. It doesn't really matter. But I lost track. But instead of referring to myself as broke, right, I say I'm in a financial transition. Instead of referring to myself as weak and skinny, I'm in a transition. I'm in a phase of trying to bulk, right? Instead of trying to give myself a negative permanent space in my mind, instead I try to switch it to something that's beneficial to me in the long term. Like, for example, it is true that I am broke, but it is also true that I'm in a financial transitionary phase of my life. I'm 23. I'm 23 years old. I'm not supposed to have a bajillion dollars in the bank right now. Okay, unless my parents were like uber rich, right? Right now, I was born skinny. I wasn't always. So I'm not like if I took my natural course and I didn't do anything about anything, I would be skinny to this day. I still kind of am. I might be scrawny now, but who knows, right? When it comes to friendship in my social group, I would have no friends if I never went out, and I would have no friends if I never went out and try to talk to people, or try to put in an effort to to make friends, to practice my communication skills, to articulate myself, to try to learn more about the world around me, right? I would never had that in the first place. But instead of saying that I'm a loser or I'm a social reject, I'm socially inadequate, I'm weak and skinny, I wanted to change my language to something that was true, but also something that would help me keep my hope alive and look to the future through faith. The most important part of the thing I just said is act on it. You must act on it. So that way, even on days where you don't think or feel highly of yourself, you become a living contradiction. You become a living positive contradiction. You ever met somebody who said, I'm not broke, I'm just trying to make money right now, and then you look at their life and they're not even putting any amount of effort into trying to make more money or trying to get a skill or doing research or what they need to do in order to financially succeed. That's basically what you're doing, but in the opposite. When you say you're a loser or when you say you're weak, but you're constantly going to the gym and you actively see yourself get stronger, every single time you do that, you are proving to yourself on a regular basis that one, you're lying to yourself about that thing in your life, but also you're also demonstrating to yourself that you are the opposite of what you're saying to other people about, right? If I was going to the gym every day and I was saying I'm weak and skinny, that might be true, but also what is also true is that I'm working on it. I'm working on my strength, whether I know it or not. Another thing you gotta look for is to look for something to be inspired by. Like me, like think about like 3 months ago, it was Kevin Trade Hard. You know, he woke up every day, went to the oil field, something that I would never imagine doing. And after getting off of that, he went to the gym, he ate properly, and he did a bodybuilding show. And he almost won, I think. He might have got second place. But the fact is that he was even able to do that on such a tight schedule is inspiring to me because I make excuses in my schedule all the time for not getting in shape, for not getting in the gym. I think this, as of right now, one of my inspiration is Daily Reps Guy. he basically is popular because he basically spent 20 minutes for almost a year. I think right now he's on day 345, where he has basically been working out for 20 minutes every day, and he has a phenomenal physique. And that's just based off of time, consistency, and a good diet. You know what I'm saying? How much is that? 10? And that's an inspiration to me because that demonstrates consistency and how much it matters over time. Because if you look at where he started and where he is now, it's almost night and day difference, right? Find someone or something to be inspired by in order to continue on and do what you need to do. So here's some practical steps. Okay, one, pick one insecurity you have. Are you skinny? Are you broke? Are you skinny? Are you broke? Are you ugly? Are you? Is your nose too big? Whatever it is. Okay. Pick one. Doesn't necessarily, but just pick one. Don't pick multiple. Pick one. Okay. Second thing you need to do is you need to ask yourself: is this thing changeable? Is this thing moldable? Can I evolve this? Can I change it? Right? If you don't know, Google it. Okay. And if there's actually YouTube videos, watch them. If there's actually some research on it, watch it. Okay. Actually, and write down some notes while you at it. Okay. Third thing. Yeah. Third thing is watch the way you talk about it. Okay. One thing that you want to implement over a little bit over time is how you speak about yourself. Because when you say I am broke or I am this and I am that, and especially when you're not doing anything to prove it, you demonstrate to yourself on a regular basis that you are that negative thing when in your heart and in your mind, you do not want to be those things. You're just not putting the things that you don't want to be into action. Or away, I'm sorry. You're just moving away from the things that you want to be, and you're not putting the things that you want to be at the forefront of your mind. You're not acting on it. Okay, you got to switch that. Proverbs talks about how life and death can be in the tongue, right? Not necessarily like die and then, whatever, but more so about how you speak to other people, how you speak to yourself has impact that you may or may not even recognize, right? And then last thing, I think this is step number 5, is one, start acting on it immediately. We have an entire self-starter video series for our work and / growth philosophy, video series that we're doing, right? Go watch those 3 videos, right? They're the ones with the ants, right? And give yourself time, right? I give myself 1 to 5 years, and then I just cut it in half and try to see how fast I can do it. Shoot for the moon. If you don't hit it, you might hit a star. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, another thing I want to point out as well is there are 2 scriptures when it comes to hope and a plan, right? That is James 2:14-17 and Hebrews 11:1, right? Hebrews 11:1 essentially defines faith as hope in the things that we don't see, but certain for the outcome, right? Essentially. Plus, minus some stuff. Do your own research on that. Don't quote me on that. Okay. just put it in there. In James 2:14-17, it talks about how faith without works is dead. Because what do you mean you believe in it and you're not doing anything with it or doing anything about your belief? Okay. Essentially, I'm just summarizing it for the sake of the video. But those 2 scriptures combined, the fact that one, hope and a plan is biblical. And even if you don't believe in the Bible, right? This is a book that was written like 2,000 years ago plus. And I think it's in Proverbs, so what, 6,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, it doesn't really matter. This has been a thing since forever. Okay, you understand this? This has been a thing since forever. And we're talking about it still today. There's nothing new under the sun that you haven't struggled with. There is somebody out there who has struggled with the same thing you have in some form or fashion. Okay, never lose hope. How can you say to yourself, I believe, if you're not going to act on it? How can you say I believe in my ability to do something if you never are actively doing it on a regular basis? How are you going to say you want to, matter of fact, I'm going to apply it to me. How am I going to say I want a better body if I'm not at the gym all the time? How am I going to say I want to grow my social media presence, but I'm not posting on a consistent basis? How am I going to say I want more friends, but I'm not going to practice my communication skills or trying to go out and starting conversations with people in order to make friends or make acquaintances or do whatever? How am I going to ask for wisdom or intelligence or understanding and I never read? You understand me? How are you going to put your faith, your belief in yourself, your desire to become better into practice? You understand me? How are you going to do that if all you do is believe and do nothing? And how are you going to do that when all you believe, all you do is that thing, but you say you don't believe it? Okay? You understand? Y'all don't even get it. Anyway, just rewatch that part of the video. All right? Deep dive, Hebrews 11:1 and James 2:14 through 17, I believe. Okay? Check that. I say that all to say this, right? There are going to be times where I don't feel like coming to the gym. There are times where I'm going to feel absolutely ugly. There's probably something a lot worth it. Like, you know, when girls say ew to you when you approach them, that's the way I be feeling sometimes. I don't even know how to describe that, right? But whether I feel like that or I feel like I'm on top of the world, my actions are going to demonstrate otherwise, right? Because the only time I fail is when I quit. Because the journey doesn't end until I stop. You understand? Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to try to explain it any deeper than that. But like, in summary, okay, if you don't get nothing else from this video, you skip to the end because you don't want to hear the whole explanation out of that crap, right? It's literally as simple as this. Nothing changes if nothing changes. What you don't change is what you are choosing. So show up every day, regardless how you feel, regardless how you think about yourself. If it's not some like physical ailment or anything like that, just continue to show up. Okay? Hope gives you a direction that you want to move in, and a plan along with some action gives you the ability to get there, or a framework to get there. Okay, but that's all I'm going to say. Triumph Athletic Code Mint, MINT. Support your boy. Help your boy out. Please. 10% off your order. TriumphAthletic.net. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. I'm out. Peace.